Hey there, and welcome back to the Blissful Biz podcast. Today, I'm sitting down with the wonderful Jennifer Madrid, a business strategist, storytelling expert, and the founder of She Vibes High. Jennifer helps solo entrepreneurs build bold, sustainable, and story-driven businesses rooted in clarity, confidence, and purpose. This episode is full of honest, heartfelt reflections on what it really takes to run a business that's aligned with your values, especially as you grow and evolve and move through different seasons of life. Jennifer and I talk about her transition from high energy launches and group programs to a more intentional one on one coaching model. How she reclaimed her voice after feeling disconnected from her message, and how she's been using AI and intuitive strategy to create more ease and sustainability in her business. We also dive into perimenopause, nervous system friendly business models, and what it means to slow down while still staying connected to your mission. It's such a rich, soulful conversation, and I know you're going to love it. Let's dive in. I'm Susanne Reicher, digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience, turned yoga teacher, turned six-figure online business owner. 10 years ago, I flew to Bali for a yoga teacher training, fell in love with the island, and decided to build an online business so I could live there. Can't be that hard, right? That decision launched me into an adventure bigger than I'd ever imagined. Over the last 8 years, I've guided over 1,000 yoga teachers and heart-led coaches how to launch and sell their digital offers, build their brand and websites, and build a profitable online business. In this podcast, I share real proven strategies and the exact steps that work. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, we'll dive into everything from creating offers your students can't resist to making digital marketing work for you. If you're ready to build a business that brings both freedom and success, you are in the right place. Jennifer Madrid, welcome to the Blissful Biz podcast. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here again. It's
Oh
been
my
a few years.
I know. So, listeners, Jennifer and I actually met, I think, 2019 or early 2020, just before the pandemic.
Yes, in Bali in a nice little, we were having coffee date. I don't know how we were connected, but it was excellent.
I don't remember as well. But yeah, and then we stayed in touch. And so I've been following your business journey over the years. And I'm just really, really excited to have you on the show. So why don't we start with you telling our listeners a little bit about what you do and your journey?
Absolutely. Awesome. So I'm originally from New York City, did about 18 years in corporate there in marketing and financial services. And at some point that chapter was closed and I decided to do what I do best, which is travel. And I landed in a few different places, but essentially about 3 years in Bali. And in that time, I was like, I don't want to return back to the same industry. I don't want to return back to the same 9 to 5. I think so many of our listeners could relate. And so I simply just allow to see what happened. And I saw that people were flipping Airbnbs, other people were healers, other people were coaches. And it was definitely right before the pandemic. It was 2018, 2019 that I was listening to lives. I was listening to people doing their new online businesses. And, that caught me at the right time. And I joined a few different coaching programs. And I was like, what's going on? They're teaching business online? I could do that. And so that's where She Vibes High was born. I dedicated myself to focus just to women because I knew their journey best since I am a woman, and really focused on empowering voice, taking the leap. And since then, it's been, oh my God, 6 years. And I started coaching women, particularly in group programs online. I did that for 3 years, and we'll get into what's now, but now I do a lot more one-on-ones. And that's been essentially my journey is the online business game and entrepreneurship, the volatile, emotional roller coasters and all the lessons. And it's been exciting and one worth taking in.
I know. I love that we've both shared basically the same journey. I
I
mean,
do.
different journeys, but it's so nice to connect with people who've really been in this industry also for a while and doing similar things, not the same, similar things. So, yeah, I'm just like grateful that you're here sharing your wisdom. So, you already told me that you transformed especially in the last year, or you change things in your business. So can we go deeper into that? Like share really where you are now, what changed? Take us back.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So, wow. The first 3 years were really a huge surge of energy, not only because it was new, right? I think at the beginning, that kind of newer's beginning, that start for startups and for people who are creating their own business, there's that energy, that excitement, that support from your community. But also, there's so much environmentally that was happening as well, right? Like the pandemic and everyone looking remote. And so clients just came naturally, organically. It didn't have to do ads, didn't have to do anything. And so the ego is really satiated from like all this validation of your moves. And so I joined the mastermind, I joined the programs that were 3,000. I joined the program that were 30,000. And it was interesting research. And now it's so beautiful to reflect back on our decisions. And I wouldn't take anything from them, but they were wise decisions for me, at least. They were great, but they weren't. I just finished a program in Cornell entrepreneurship. It shows you logically what you need to do when you're doing your bootstrap. And I wasn't really working on logic. I was working on intuition, the call, the great things. And
Mm.
I'm very thankful for that. But I will say, coming on the third year, what happened was I hired pretty quickly within about 6 months in my business. I hired a social media agency that supported me and at the time scheduling things, not really growth marketing, but just scheduling things for me. And it was exciting to have that support. And what it really allowed was the space for me to sell more, for me to be in my craft. But then, like in 2023, I was definitely at a peak, meaning I was running two group programs, had coaching and some consulting. Overall, I think I was managing, I don't know, maybe about 25 people in some, and for me, that was a lot for myself. And so what ended up happening was like, trying to remember exactly, but it wasn't burnout. I was excited, but what I started getting disconnected from my message. So a lot of my leads come from online, specifically Instagram. And so because I was just approving things in Asana, and just letting them all go, I felt very disconnected. Again, I used to, I started this brand with my words and attracting from there. And so that disconnection really made me pause. And there's a few things also that happened just naturally financially that were also starting to go down after that high. And so, how can I say, like, I let go of the agency because I was like, I need to get back to my community. I need to get back to my words. I need some time. And I also, for the first time, Suzanne, like, I had never done therapy. And I think I was 42, 43, and I was here in Mexico City. And I know that Mexico City happened in Mexico, but I was in San Miguel de Allende. And I started my first therapist here in Mexico. And it was great because it wasn't just talk therapy. It was obsidian therapy. I was just all these occult things as well to do shadow work. And the reason I bring that up is because I really think what was the call for me, whether I was feeling burnout or not cognizant, I was being asked to slow down, pause, to really think about what's going on. Because foundationally, I never had done a lot of the foundations of business, even though I supported others.
Mm.
I just, kind of missed that step. And so I think this was kind of like a tower moment, was like, what are you going to learn from this? 2023 to 2024 has been really about slowing down, getting back connected to my values. If you really want to do this business, Jennifer, like, where direction are you taking it? How are you going to nourish it? How are you going to nourish yourself? What are your choices going to be? So it's really been reflective.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting that I had a similar experience last year where I was connecting to my inner voice and asked it, why have things been so hard? And it
Mm.
told me the answer was because you've been doing too much. And that also really led to me really restructuring, rethinking everything in my business. It didn't lead to doing less, not right now, but it led to a new strategic direction. And I know exactly where I'm going and why what I'm doing right now is I'm creating this asset. I know how it's going to serve me moving forward. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
think it's so important to have both of those things. The strategy, you said that that's was something that you were learning as well
Hmm.
after like really only following your intuition, but then also listening to your intuition and to your inner voice. And how does it serve you? That's such a great question to ask yourself.
No, no, I love that. What happened to you is literally what's happening to me as well. It's in that time of slowness that I was like, what's going on here? I don't feel like launching my signature program again. I've done it 7 times and I need to optimize it. I need to do it in a way that feels like me today. And so I haven't launched it in 2 years. And it might get relaunched or it might be revamped into something new. And I'm open to it. And I think during this time, I've been able to collaborate more, speak to more business owners and women, both seasoned and newbies, and see the different themes that come up for different people. I also am like really reflective, like, who did I attract my first year, my second year, my third year? Who am I attracting now? Where are they going? And so there's a lot of insights that we receive, right, all around us. And I love that you said that now the strategy is well informed. It's informed by our lived experience. It's informed also by the clarity that we have around how we really want to live, like our lifestyle.
Yes, exactly. And it's so
And it's
different for
coming from us
everybody.
now. It's coming from us now versus the peers, and I think that's natural in most journeys. Like when you start in corporate, when you started at college, in the beginning, you're rookie. So you're looking at what to gravitate, what's the tried and true method. And then at some point you mature as a business owner, you start owning your, your reality, what your body's telling you, how you want to proceed. Do you actually want to be a millionaire? Some people don't need to have that. How do you really want to live? And so I think those have been the beautiful questions that have been surfacing for me, even for my clients. And yeah, I used to just launch all the time. And now I look at your business too, Suzanne, and I love that you dip your toes in advertising. I love that you also have created like different products in the buyer's journey, things that us as marketers know. And yet I'm still working on that. But now I agree with you now. Now I have literally, I'm looking over here on my whiteboard. I have this clarity of the next few years, how I want to grow it. What are the missing pieces? What are the systems and structure that are going to hold me better with my nervous system? Because I've suffered there. I've definitely suffered there, and it's still something that I'm managing.
Yeah, I think I feel that, especially looking what others are doing. That was such a big thing for me. I think especially like 2023 and also 2024. And what is she doing? And then, yeah, of course, things were harder than in the pandemic. We all felt that in our business, that it wasn't as easy and flowy anymore. So
Mhm.
everybody's like, what is she doing? What is she doing? What should I be doing now? What should I be doing now? And it was so easy. Of course, it's still easy to get lost there and to
Yes.
lose side of what's really important for you. So like you want to build a completely different business to how I want to run my business, probably. I don't really want a lot of one-on-one clients,
Mhm.
right? So I don't have a team now, but I can see myself hiring support coaches and salesperson. So,
Yes.
and so I have more freedom. So that's a different journey. So I'm more like on that really creative journey. You're more on that coaching journey,
Mhm,
probably.
mhm.
And I think that clarity comes with, of course, experience, learning what really serves you. And I think it's also changing, and that's totally normal that you pivot and you prioritize other elements in your life.
Yeah. No, I love it. And I'm entering the last few months, I've been a lot more of a student. I'm studying more astrology, which I've always loved, gene keys, different things that help people with brand clarity, because that's my focus is really supporting people with the clarity in their storytelling, really getting them to activate their voice, right? Not only through video, but also through messaging. But one thing I would say is that I am doing a lot of one-on-one clients right now because I started with a lot of group. I'm getting the itch though to start something group. And I think it was very beautiful to spend a lot of one-on-one time to see some of the common denominators because I think that's what informs kind of the group experiences. But where's it going with this? Yeah, it's been great. I think right after leaving the social media agency and kind of finding my voice again, one of the major tools that has helped me, obviously, is AI. It's been a creative partner and a real asset. Obviously, there's pros and cons. There's a lot of reliance on it, but I've been focused the last year and a half just on the content, the distribution, making it easier for me since I've been operating by myself. So it's been really helpful in that way. And I would say that with AI, now the chapter that's opening up is more like, oh my God, from the applications that I already invested in, like Kajabi, like Honeybook, any application, how can I use their AI more? How can I use more automations? Because I do want, lifestyle that's not always on camera or that's always on that. So that those type of goals, you could reverse engineer. Well, then what is it that we're selling then? What is it that we're diversifying in our business? And also, I think it's a good question to ask ourselves is like, is it always online coaching? I know many people who are doing online coaching, and that's one stream of income, of many. And so it's really powerful for us to be able to architect that for ourselves at whatever age.
Oh, I love that. Let's dive into juicy, juicy, juicy AI a little bit more. I think
Do
it's
you use it?
incredible how fast it evolves. When
Oh,
it started, and we all just used it to write Instagram caption, and everybody started sounding the same with tons of emojis in their content, right? As soon as you saw like this two emojis in one
or
sentence,
the
you
M
knew
dash.
you and
Yeah.
the M
Hmm.
dash, you know. And for me, and I guess for you too, it's so much more now. It really became a strategic brainstorming partner, helping you come up with your content calendars, with your strategies for your launch, everything. So, can you tell us more about how you use it? What are your favorite tools?
Yeah.
How it changed your life?
So I think it was like late 2023. Again, that was like that period of like, oh my God, okay, I don't have a team. What am I going to do? And started going to a lot of AI events. At that point, I had just moved to Mexico City and I was trying to go to a lot of networking events, not just for AI, but entrepreneurial. And there's a huge entrepreneurial community here and it's great. And it's what keeps me here. It's awesome, both Mexicans as well as people who've immigrated here. And yeah, so I started hearing a lot of startups here sharing their AI or their chatbots. So not just ChatGPT. I actually didn't start with ChatGPT. I had opened up an account, but I wasn't using it. And I started with a small company here called Olympia. They're still around. Their concept was targeted for the solopreneur, and it was talking about giving you a team. So you had an assistant, you had a marketing manager, you had a startup strategist. It was super cool. And it gave them names, it gave them an avatar, and it was super cool. And I enjoyed them for 6 months. And at that point, I let that go because then I wanted to try Perplexity. I wanted to try Claude. I wanted to try ChatGPT. And so I just wanted to minimize my subscription. But in general, I've been using it heavily. I've even led workshops for women to not resist it and to embody it more. But the more you use it, as all my content, it comes from me, yes, but it gets looked over by AI for sure. It gets enhanced and enriched. It knows my stories because I feed it every day. I leverage it so much for myself, for my clients. I'm very transparent about that. But I also know when it sucks and let it know that I need more depth. And what questions do you have to ask me to get there? And so it is a partnership. It's really nice. And that's how I've been using it. And the weekend I really started to use it, and you'll love this. I was on my bed on a Thursday night. I'm more of a YouTuber when it comes to consuming than Instagram. And so I like long form more. And so when I was listening to some doctor or someone was like, the benefits of a 3-day fast. And so like that night, I was like, okay, I'm doing the fast. So that whole weekend, if you've ever done a water fast or anything like that, it gives you a lot of energy. You're very clear. You have within a day or two, your performance is next level clarity. And that's when I jump started AI. I was just like, okay, nothing to do. Like once you don't cook and go eat, I cook a lot. You have so many more hours in the day. And I was like, well, what am I going to do with my life? And so I pumped out so much, I think like 4 or 5 weeks of content, did some at Canva as well. And I was just like, this is amazing. And that's when a few months later, I was just like so hooked. And now I think now that I'm hooked with that, it's beyond that. Now it's like I'm attending online conferences where like, how can we automate things? How can we create a chatbot agent for myself or for my clients? What is it that I need? So that's the stage I'm in right now. And I would love to kind of embrace and continue to play with this year.
I love it. Yeah. I started last year, I was really loving Claude a lot because I was struggling to make ChatGPT sound like me. And then I used it a lot for my podcast. This is really, I replaced my podcast editor and my VA, who really only handled the podcast, with like writing the script and then turning it into a blog post, turning it into the show notes, turning that into a newsletter, into social media posts, and it just takes minutes.
Yeah.
So I love that. And also like even other tools like Descript, they have the AI tools included with the studio sound or automate, like they take out filler words automatically, things
I
like
love
that.
Descript for that.
I love it.
I love Descript for that. It can also, and because I work, all my work is in English. However, I do live in Mexico City. I'm bilingual. Descript as well as CapCut, but like Descript will allow you to translate. AI will do that for you. It's really nice. What other things do I love? Lately, like even HoneyBook has upped their game. HoneyBook is like a Dubsado, and for anyone listening, it's just a CRM. And it's also, I'm doing lead forms, which I've done before, but now the response is AI generated. I'll look it over and approve it until I get really acquainted with it, but you can also feed it. And that's really nice.
I use a lot of ChatGPT. It got a lot better. And I love that it saves.
In 2 or 3
everything.
months, it's gotten better. I do the paid version. It's
amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And have you tried out, what was the name of it? Effie for emails?
No.
It's integrated with Gmail, and then it replies your emails for you, and it learns your voice.
But see, these are the ones that I want to start knowing about for sure. I want to do things for like presentations as well, not Canva presentations, but more like, I forgot what it's called. There's one that I'm exploring, but I forgot the name at the moment. So things like that, like presentations, because sometimes I do some consulting work. And then also, it's escaping me. Yeah.
I think Meta, they just started their own AI. I haven't tried it yet.
Which one?
Meta. So in Facebook and Instagram, you now have that AI button. I'm not sure if it's better than any, but or what it does. Maybe it's really great at writing social media captions. I don't know. We have to try that out.
There's also a lot of platforms, which I'm excited to try as well. There's a lot of platforms that are, so let's say I start a YouTube channel, right? Or video content. And I kind of am thinking of that strategy moving forward. I don't know when I'm going to ignite it this year, whether it's YouTube, but just long form content so that instead of spending time in creating 7-second reels, it's now a secondary platform. So it would be nice to see myself or many others like evolve where Instagram is not my primary channel for leads, is really looking at more, whether it's SEO, Substack, YouTube, more longer form content, where then later your assistant or AI can pick up the clips that are most potent
Yeah.
and distribute it for you.
Yeah,
So
that's how I'm using my podcast. Yeah, that's my
yeah.
primary platform. I think YouTube is probably strongest because it has that authenticity when people see you on video and you can't fake it. And we
But
probably
even
can,
but
but
even podcasts. So
yeah.
Suzanne, I don't know if you've noticed, but like for me, when I was in corporate in New York City, multitasking, of course, podcasts always on my ear while I was commuting, 100%, or in Audible. But now that my lifestyle's different, my commutes are not like that. I have walks, right? I go to the grocery or the market. Our lifestyle's so different that for me, I still listen to things, but sometimes it's while I'm cooking. And so what I love to do now, instead of listening on podcasts, once in like 1% of me, I still listen to a podcast when someone recommends it, but I love consuming podcasts through YouTube.
I love that. Yeah.
And so I have a few entrepreneurial friends here that are YouTube strategists, and they're like, Jen, like I see you, even if you do a podcast, I still want you to do the visual, the YouTube, so double the content. And I think that's smart. That's smart for
It's
us.
super smart. I tried it. It didn't work for me.
Okay. Okay.
I really tried it. I was so committed. And
Nice.
I don't know why it's so much harder for me. And it's just like this extra step. And recording a podcast episode, I can do that even when I'm low energy, when, I don't know, my skin is not, my hair is not perfect. I don't have to put on makeup. I don't know. It's like a no-brainer for me every week. I don't even
Yeah.
have to, it's easy, it flows. And with the video, it just didn't. And that's me. But if you don't have that struggle, yeah, of course, I would always recommend to do both. Definitely.
And you know that I do a lot of video on Instagram, or not just like B-roll, which is excellent, but also lately some face to camera. Yeah. And lately someone told me, you're not doing so many face to camera or lives. And I was like, that's right. I haven't done that in a while. But you know what happens to me? I don't know if this happens to you or anyone who's listening, but like for me, when I have a creative interest, I explore that one thing for a while until I get better at it. Then I move on to something else. I don't add like 7 different things. And so if someone were to look at my feed like 3 years ago, I was doing lives pretty often. I was talking to camera all the time. And so then the game changed on Instagram with Reels. And I even tried that when I had my social media agency. They had me pointing and dancing. And that was okay until I didn't like it no more. I was like, I still want to express. And now you see Reels that are a lot more thought-provoking, storytelling. God, they look like a movie. So cinematic, which is great with
But
where
it still has no longevity. And that's the problem
that's the
I have.
problem.
Yeah.
And
with
when
that.
thinking about slow business, when we're talking about sustainable business, that's exactly the issue. I'm pumping out content all the time. And yes, it converts clients, thank God. But it's not. So that's the next move for me, Suzanne, is long-term wealth around
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
I find that I get people speaking to me on YouTube and I'm like, that was maybe only from 6 months ago, but wow, that made rocked my world. And now I'm following them on Instagram because of it. And so we just look at the journey and the behavior. And it's a good question because I think I was talking to someone. I was like, we do actually want people who have a nervous system that wants long form content,
No,
to
a lot of
something.
my listeners, they are exhausted by social media. And It's not that I'm against social media, obviously. I mean, I'm posting, I'm using it, I'm also enjoying it mostly. Otherwise, I wouldn't.
Hmm.
But I'm so grateful that I started using long form content right from the start. Like when I started my business in 2016, since then I've posted a blog post pretty much every week. And then I started the podcast in 2020 and I create a blog post for every podcast episode. And I get so much traffic from Google and from
That's
Pinterest
so
for blog posts that I published like 2018 or something. And I sometimes look at my analytics, what are the top performing pages, and then I go and update them. So there were a few posts that were really old. And so I went in there and updated them because I know they still get so much traffic.
I love that. And so that's basically one of my goals is focusing on long form, deciding it.
Yeah.
As I met with an SEO expert recently too, as well, to have her later in the year help me out with certain aspects. So yeah, well, those are things that I missed. And I knew about them from business courses, from my own marketing, but I just rode the wave.
And
But you
YouTube is
don't
great because it's a search engine as well. But yeah, if you do
exactly.
YouTube video, also do a blog post where you embed the video with
Perfect.
some text. So it's an additional way for people to find you on Google, and then they are already in your world. And they don't
Yeah.
get distracted by all the other videos showing up in the right bar and things. And then you
You
can
know,
share that on Pinterest.
yes, exactly.
It's super
You know,
simple. Just like,
Pinterest is
yeah.
a great also, exactly.
I'm not
One of
sure
the
it is
things,
such a big role anymore. I am still posting, scheduling 5 images and with the text and description, and you do that in ChatGPT. So this takes a few minutes. I get more traffic from Pinterest still than from all the other social media combined. But
wow.
I don't know if it's always like higher. I mean, I'm very niche, right? So I'm teaching marketing for yoga teachers. That's really a micro niche. I always tell my students who are in the wellness or yoga world, my God, use Pinterest because this is exactly where your audience is hanging out. It's like mainly women and they're looking for that kind of content.
Right. That's where photo shoots are made, right? Like mood boards.
Yeah.
That's also where vision boards are snapshot and created of all
But
the
not
generations.
only that, I remember like one of my high ticket program clients, she found me on Pinterest. I was
That's
invited
amazing.
to a summit where James Wedmore was one of the speakers. They found me on
No,
Pinterest.
that's perfect.
So, and I spent 10 minutes or 15 minutes a week on it. So,
And now with ChatGPT, you got me. I'm gonna add that to my list.
Mhm.
I think the other thing I wanted to see your opinion on is like, what have you seen change in the last year or two around programs, like the length of them and what people are desiring? Because I've seen a few
yeah.
changes.
Yeah, that's such a great question. It's a topic I really dove in the last month, and I read everything that I listened to, all the podcasts. I really dove into offer creation, and then tried to find out what really resonates with me, and I hope resonates with my audience. I had a 12-month program. I tried 6 months. I tried 12 months. I feel that's not really working anymore so well. I also feel that some of my students got lost in that long container
Mhm.
and they didn't really see the urgency and then they didn't really get results. Which, I
Okay.
mean, we always have students who don't get results,
100%.
but obviously you want to really help them implement and take action. So that's a big focus for me. And what I see, what people want is not more information, but really help with implementation.
Yeah.
So, and also see people adding more one-on-one personal feedback, touch points. And you can do that in all kind of ways. It doesn't have to be calls in your calendar. If you want a more flexible lifestyle, let's say you have kids, it could also be a private podcast, or it can be, I don't really use Voxer. I think it's like, why? I just use WhatsApp. So it could be WhatsApp messaging or a Slack channel where you don't have to reply in the minute, but people know when you're going to get back to them. For me, it's like Tuesday to Thursday. So
Mm-hmm.
they have like 8-week access to one-on-one text messaging support. And then it's this clear program. And then I really like being generous. I like giving lifetime access to all the trainings because I think people pay a lot of money. And I love going back to programs that I purchased like years ago. I like B-School. I bought it like 2018
Oh,
and I can
boy.
still go back to it. And I think that's so generous, right? It was a
It
lot of
is.
money for me back then. So I'm happy to offer that because it doesn't really cost you anything. So,
Yeah,
and
no, of course not.
right. So I'm happy to offer that. And a community, I think that's important too. I mean, it always depends on the topic, on what you're teaching, but I think the really strictly self-study courses with just a bunch of long videos, that's not really helpful or what people want to buy anymore. And I'm really excited about low ticket offer funnels. Yeah.
I know, I see that. I think, I love what you said, and I think, wow, there's so much there. A few things, like, you're correct that each person's audience is different, not only because of their niche, but you do need to take a temperature and insights around what they need, their lifestyle, and also what you're offering, and also the way you want to live your life. Because I do feel that, so I haven't done a 12-month program yet. I've only done 6-month group coaching. And then when it comes to one-on-ones, it used to be 3 months and 6 months. And of course, when people renew and stuff. But this year, I've decided, or this is the game plan for this year, is that I'm no longer doing 3-month coaching. I find that my clients need 6 months because in 3 months, we meet like 6 calls. And in those 6 calls, yes, you will gain clarity. Yes, you will get a vision. Yes, we'll map out maybe an offer, even a sales page, everything. But the actual tactical moving forward of launching your brand, building your audience, that aspect needs handholding. That aspect needs accountability, strategy. And so, generally speaking, in my last 2 years of doing a lot of one-on-ones, it doesn't happen in 3 months. And so, what happens is they're left without moving forward, or they do in their own time, but it's a different time schedule because it's just them. And then for me, I'm left like, oh, I just supported you and I didn't see you activate. Right. And so, for me, at least for this year, I'm like, if we're working together, it's 6 months or none. If you are coming back to me, yes, we can do something different, right? Like we know each other's brands already. I'm able to support you. If you're a more seasoned person, we can do a 1-month intensive. That's super cool too. But I love that you've kind of made that distinction. I've also been in other containers where um 12 months, or I've helped other also clients, they're building 12 months and it's built in a format that they're going to have coaches, right? Because if they still want some freedom in their lifestyle, they're going to scale it to a certain degree so that they can have that. Because if not, they're always on whatever on is for the whole year. Maybe I've had clients like reject that. They're like, I know, Jen, but like, I don't want to be on for the whole year. So maybe we do it seasonally, 6-week sprints, something, but I'm not doing it for the full year.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting decision.
I also love that you have that clarity. And it's also what I tell my students. There's not this one right length or something for a program. And this is what makes it like a premium price point. It really depends how long it takes for you to get your clients or your students results. So whatever
Yep.
you're teaching or doing. And yeah, 8 weeks is an experiment. I have to see how it goes. It might be that it's completely overwhelming for most people. We'll see. But I'm also really excited about creating that kind of momentum. So that's
Mm-hmm.
the goal, to get people in who really like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And it's very focused on what we're going to do, like create your online program and set up your sales system. So it doesn't cover building your email list or building your website or all the other things that you can do. So we'll see. Doors open tomorrow. okay, or if you listen to this episode, doors are open. Yay! Yeah, so I love that. You're 6 months of coaching and then you go really deep, and that definitely feels like a deep, slower style of running your business.
It does. And honestly, I'm getting that feedback from them because a lot of them, even my consulting clients, they're people who want slow, sustainable businesses. And so the way they operate, I'm here like, here are the alumni engagement email strategy. Here are the dates. And it's like they have profitable businesses, they're six figures, but they also want to move at the pace and the season they're in. And so it's really nice to work with clients like this. And because I mean, I'm a Capricorn rising Virgo, like I'm slow and I'm unlearning a lot, but I'm still a go-getter. And it's always a battle internally. But with a lot of people that are grounded, are more mature in their business, are not doing it for just the sales, are doing it more for the impact, decisions flow a little differently. And it's beautiful that I get to witness this because I get to learn from that too, and also go in their tempo. And so what I've learned with the 6 months and with the people I have right now, maybe one person who's just coming from corporate, she's still, but everybody else has been in this lifestyle for a while. So they're like, okay, I'm going to take a moment with the sales page. I know you say we could launch, let's just say August, we're in April right now, and build an audience, but I'm thinking more like the beginning of next year. So they're giving themselves that time. Let's get the freebie out there. Let's get the low ticket offer. Let me practice this content muscle, right? And my nervous system and still, yeah. And I think it's great. I mean, I'm
It's
working with
great,
people.
but I had clients like this, and I think it doesn't work for me. It doesn't resonate with how I run my business right now.
Yeah. No,
And
it's a different
definitely,
lifestyle.
yeah, it's
Because it's
I,
yoga teachers, it's somatic practitioners, it's Ayurvedic people who embody that living.
yes.
I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely don't work as much anymore as I did in my 40s or 30s. My God, when I work like 6 hours a day, I'm knackered. Sometimes I have to take a nap. All those, like the benefits of perimenopause.
Can we talk about that for a minute? Because
Yes.
that's entering my life in the last year. I sleep longer, Suzanne. Like,
I definitely prioritize sleep. I don't set an alarm clock. And if I wake up at 5 or something, I have those moments. Even now I'm taking HRT, so it's less, but it can happen. It's like one of the symptoms of perimenopause that you wake up sweating like at night. Look forward to that. Yeah. But then I just fall back to sleep and then I just sleep
yeah.
longer. Yeah.
No, I can't say that I'm 45, so I definitely feel like I'm swimming in that space in the last year. I've been dealing with high cortisol in the last year as well. And so between peri, who knows? But something's definitely changing hormonally. I definitely gotten tests, so I'm definitely have a few specialists with me. But it's a whole new relationship to your body. It's a whole new relationship with your business. It's a whole new relationship to self-care and accepting the stages and seasons you're in. And that so reflects how we operate in our business, how much we push, how much we force, how much we lead, how much we accept. And that has really helped me a lot. I would say that one of the main things I've been focused on this year, the last 3 months, which this week I've been failing at, but is my PM routine. This scrolling, the working in front of the screen till 10 or 11 because I manage my days the way I want them, which is an illusion of freedom. It is freedom because you don't have someone dictating your schedule. But I think what it's showing me, or the lesson I'm receiving right now, is that, okay, let's get disciplined in where we stop, whatever it is. Is it 4 p.m. for you, Jen? Is it 5 p.m.? I'm good at night for my creativity, but I'm not good at night to work with clients. Like clients are during the day or nothing. But also, you can also change that behavior where the evening is just, I'm single still. So my evenings are not with someone else or with family or anything like that. And so I often think, Jen, like we do need to architect a different lifestyle for the stage you're in, you know? So anyway, that's been a big thing for me is to honor my PM routine, shut off things so that I can have a better morning and a more productive day. But
You
I'm
should
like
get
you,
a
I rarely,
dog that gives you so much routine.
oh my God. So first of all, I'm going to go meet you in Mallorca because that's the thing. I definitely think I have another year of myself here in Mexico, but I've been eyeing out different other places with my astrocartologist, astrocartography, to see what's the next place that would be good for sustainability, longevity, health, career, love. Like, what are it's
Mm,
given top five? ChatGPT's given me a few of different price ranges, and I want to go visit them and see what happens.
yes, you
But I
should.
do like your lifestyle. I mean, do tell me, like, when did you move to Mallorca and like how has it influenced or how is it like enhanced to your nervous system and your lifestyle?
Um, well, before I moved here, I was already like traveling in the camper van half of the year. So that wasn't really 12-hour work days, like not even close, right? So I wasn't really working so much. And in Hamburg, and then was a pandemic. I had a quiet life. And before that, it was like always Bali half the year. So I don't feel I had this like super stressful big city life or anything like that. But getting a dog has definitely helped me. It's the best decision for my health. I don't have any issues anymore with back problems or hips because I'm walking 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm
Mm.
present. I don't listen to podcasts. So yeah, I miss that, but I want to be present with my dog. And I don't know, traffics when I'm walking. And so it's a lot of time outdoors. And I mean, I love the Mediterranean weather and lifestyle. And so it was like a childhood dream to move to the Mediterranean and leave Germany with those dark, 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 gray, cold winters. Traumatizing. I don't miss it at all. So, but so I love it here, but building a new life in a new country with a new language, it's not really easy as well. And when I moved here and I was also excited to work and it was also like that time where work suddenly was more difficult, right?
Mhm.
Because of the economy. So it was like a lot at the same time. So it was like also, I think that's also, I felt really, really tired. And then last year, like early last year, I really struggled with mood swings from perimenopause. And I don't really have depression, but I was definitely like so quickly irritated and crying out of the blue, like when I watch like a TV spot. And this is so not me. And so I finally got on HRT last summer, and it's been a life changer. So it was
What is
really like, it
that?
was hormone replacement therapy.
Oh, yes, 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 that's what it stands for.
So I'm not saying it's right for everybody, but for me, it was definitely the right decision. It took a while to find the right doctor. And yeah, so that feels like I'm getting into calmer waters in a way now, feeling much more settled here, building a community here, taking care of my health. Luna is great.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have heard of HRT. I have a client who has had a great success with it too, and it also has shared that with me. How is the community there as far as is everyone a self-employed entrepreneur? Like, how does it?
No, like very different. Some people work for companies, but from home, or they just travel like once per week or something, or every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
We have now a little co-working and event space here in Poyensa. There's definitely more going on in Palma, which is the capital of Mallorca. And it's a really beautiful city, and there are tons of events and co-working spaces, etc. But it's 40 minutes from where I live, so it's not so close. So we have a small space here and it's all kind of people. Sometimes I go to the business lunches or events. I don't work there, I work at home. So yeah, as I said, I have a very, very quiet lifestyle here. And I'm also single, so I'm living just with my dog.
The dog, yeah. Nice. I would have a small one. There's a lot of dogs in Mexico City, but
Okay.
it would need to be petite. Like medium to large is not for me. I've tried. No.
No, she can fly with me in the cabin. So
Oh, that's
she's like
great. So you
seven
don't
kilo here.
feel, oh, beautiful. I love Luna, the name. Awesome.
So that was
So
fun. I think we can
this
like,
is what it
yeah.
looks like. So this is what it looks like to run a business in a high-paced digital world, right? That's always asking for our attention. It's like we have to make these hard decisions as business owners of the way we want to, like what season are we in and what our goals are, and then kind of like
Yeah.
make it happen.
And it's also interesting how it comes together. Like we are changing with perimenopause growing up and the industry maturing as well. So, and I think one of the
Yes.
beautiful things about getting older is you don't give a fuck anymore what anybody else is doing or thinking, or, you just do your own thing
100%.
and like
100%.
it or don't like it. I don't care.
100%. You definitely don't give. If anything, I unfollow so many people that used to follow like in 2020, 2021. I mean, I think it's great, but sometimes just people you just don't need it on your screen. I have two accounts. So I have another account where I follow the other people. And I actually, in my account, I try to follow peers. Like, I mean, not peers like in business coaches. Like, I try to follow like actual people I know and friends or people who are following me,
Yeah.
That's what I try to do more. When I want to see the Christos or the Marie Forleos or the big people, I go to the other account and then or the Instagram gurus telling you the latest thing. I've had to separate them most recently, maybe in 6 months ago, because not because of comparison, but they were just taking up my feed because they publish more. And so I couldn't see client stuff or things like that. And I was like, oh, the whole point is to like support their voice and support their work. And so, yeah, so I started dividing that a little bit more to see how that would affect my feed a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see. But I
It's
love this conversation. I think it's just great to
so,
reflect like
yes, we should
what
definitely
happens
do
in
that
4 to 5,
again.
6 years.
Not we shouldn't wait 5 years before we do that again.
Imagine. Imagine.
Imagine,
Yeah.
but imagine 5 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine us not even saying the word AI. It's like a part of us. I think the world's really going to change a lot in five
Yes.
years for sure. But you know what is great? People will still need coaching. People still need therapists. People still need spaces to grow their businesses because yeah, I think that's not going to change. The fact that you said that people want more in depth or one on one or more of that like in person as well. That's going to be a lot of more of that.
Exactly. Definitely. And that really help implementing. Like with yoga and wellness, we all know what to do. And we could all just go to YouTube and use free videos, but we're not doing it. So if you're teaching that, it's about thinking how can you really help your clients and students take action and implement actually.
Yeah, like
And
what
she's
are
like,
the
yeah,
rituals?
what
What
do
is
they
the
need to motivate them?
exactly? That's really it. And I think, you know, yeah, that's when it comes to us like business coaches is like, what are the sprints? What are the frameworks? How are we helping them achieve this in four
Yes.
weeks versus fester on it? Yeah, that's a lot of the work that we have to do when it starts becoming operational.
You're doing amazing work for sure. So where
Mhm.
can our listeners go to learn more about you?
Yep, you can go to shevibeshigh.com or follow me on Instagram at shevibeshigh. That's where you'll find me. And that's the best way to connect. Yeah.
Amazing. I will add the links to the show notes, of course. But
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much for being here, Jennifer. I'm really honored that you took the time and it was so much fun, the conversation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Blissful Biz podcast. If you found this helpful, I'd love it if you hit subscribe and left a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other yoga teachers and coaches find these strategies too, and it would mean the world to me. It really makes a difference. And if you're ready to take the next step, head over to my website, susannereiker.com, where you'll find my free resources, latest blog posts, and all the ways we can work together to grow your online business. Until next week, keep building your blissful biz.